Hannah is a travel agent who isn't very happy with her choice of occupation. Before she goes out on vacation with her family, on a tropical cruise, her boss tells her that she has a job in a hotel made of ice. Hannah has to go there to check the place up for their tourism magazine, and if she does the job well, she's going to become the new manager. Though receiving a promotion is always good, for Hannah it means that she's becoming more attached to a job that she doesn't like. To make things worse, she was looking forward to going away for a while and relaxing. With no other option, Hannah has to pack her bags to go. Her best friend, Phoebe, suggests she goes with her since she had a bad breakup and is trying to take her mind off things. Her friend's presence makes the trip more exciting for Hannah because at least she wouldn't be alone. Hannah's life for the last couple of years has been uneventful and boring. She doesn't have a love life and barely dates anyone, and her dream is to have her own hotel to manage. Working as a travel agent was the only option she had after she had an accident at her last job. After one mistake, Hannah doesn't think she's good enough to take responsibility for another hotel. Her insecurity prevents her from leaving her job as a travel agent and finding one that suits her better. 2 days after she's told by her boss of the trip, Hannah arrives at the hotel. The place is beautiful, and she's instantly mesmerized by its uniqueness. Everything, from the roof to the furniture, is made of ice. It's very different from anything she has ever seen, and even though she prefers tropical places, she admits the place is amazing. At the front desk, another man is waiting for the receptionist with Hannah. He introduces himself as Robert, but Hannah feels like she's served him in her agency. The manager of the hotel offers him a themed suite for no reason, and Hannah is confused by the difference in treatment between them. Later on, she finds out the man is a famous hotel reviewer. The manager knew he was coming and wanted to give him the best stay so he could recommend the hotel. Hannah and Phoebe stay in different rooms, and Hannah gets lost when she's trying to find hers. She finds a tall man that seems to be working for the hotel and asks for his help. She's surprised when she sees how handsome he is, with dark brown hair and blue eyes. The man leads her to her room and introduces himself as Ben. Unbeknownst to Hannah, Ben is actually the co-owner of the hotel, and he's enchanted by her. She's also a beautiful woman, and she's easygoing and pleasant to talk to. The room Hannah's staying in is nice and cozy, and she's surprised by how comfortable it is despite being made of ice. Ben explains some things about the hotel and tells her that there are some activities she may do. Later on, while she's relaxing in the jacuzzi with Phoebe, her ex calls her and she quickly leaves the jacuzzi. Hannah also decides to get out when she sees Ben walking with the reviewer and he greets her. She quickly tries to hide because she's not wearing many clothes, but Ben appears behind her, giving her a bathrobe before she freezes. When she goes back to her room, her mother calls her from the Caribbean. Besides not being where she wanted to be, Hannah changed her mind about the hotel and she's having fun, despite being cold. The following day, she wakes up fresh and happy. When she meets the manager of the hotel, a pretty woman named Bridget, she compliments Ben and how helpful he has been. Bridget is confused when Hannah calls him a valet and explains who Ben really is. Hannah is shocked that she had the chance to talk to the co-owner of the hotel and he was so nice. Ben appears to talk to Bridget and offers to show Hannah around. She immediately agrees, seeing his presence as an opportunity to get to know more about the hotel and listen to his experience. Hannah leaves to have breakfast first, and Bridget tells Ben about the reviewer staying at the hotel. Ben has a lot of expectations on his shoulders because it's the first time he's managing the hotel by himself. He wants everyone to have a good time at the hotel, especially the reviewer. He and Bridget decide to make his stay perfect, so he doesn't have a single reason to say something negative about the hotel. Meanwhile, Hannah has breakfast with Phoebe. Her friend tells her that she's talking to her ex again and that she's hopeful for a new beginning for them. Hannah is worried that Phoebe is going to have her heart broken again, but nothing she says is going to change Phoebe's mind. When it comes to romance, Hannah is more grounded and reserved. She's focusing on her career at the moment and trying to figure out what she wants to do. At the same time, Ben gives her butterflies in her stomach. Phoebe thinks she should go for him and see where it goes. Hannah is a bit reluctant, mainly because they're so far away. Still, she decides she's going to enjoy whatever happens between them. After breakfast, they meet and Ben shows her around the hotel. She's even more amazed when she sees the details and how they came to be. There's even a slide made of ice inside the hotel, and they have a lot of fun there. Ben shows her the themed rooms, and she finds everything beautiful. Ben tells her of the hotel reviewer and Hannah gets excited about it. The reviewer appears and Hannah tells Ben that she booked some of his travels for him. Ben invites the man to the dining room where they were going to have a Nordic menu, and he accepts it. He's nervous about the outcome of his review and wants everything to go smoothly. After Ben excuses himself to work, Hannah goes skiing with Phoebe. When they are coming back to the hotel, Hannah accidentally bumps into the cake that was going to be served as dessert for dinner. It's a specific Nordic cake and it's ruined. Bridget is desperate because she doesn't know what they are going to do, but Hannah offers the solution. She knows how to bake a delicious Nordic recipe that her grandmother knew how to make. Ben follows her into the kitchen and helps her bake. While cooking, they get to know each other better. She explains that she loves hotel management and it's what she wanted to do for a living. Ben tells her how his father came up with the idea of the ice hotel, and how he slept in an igloo once. Hannah also chooses her career because of a childhood memory. Her family always liked traveling, and it was Hannah's dream to manage a hotel on the beach. She loves the beach and warm weather, but surprisingly she's enjoying her stay at the ice hotel. It's a new experience, but it's a good one. Hannah also confesses to Ben that the first hotel she managed flooded, and that's why she decided to not manage again. It was a big deal, and it even appeared in the newspapers. Ben doesn't judge her harshly because he knows accidents can happen, especially when he manages a very delicate ice hotel. He tells her that the first hotel he and his father built melted before they even finished it. Hearing his experience and how he also had troubles along the way helps Hannah see that she's not hopeless. Ben never gave up on his dream of making an ice hotel, and in the end, things worked out well. The time for dinner arrives and Hannah goes along with Phoebe. She's nervous about the dessert and whether the reviewer is going to like it or not. She tells Phoebe about how her time with Ben was nice, and he appears to talk to them. She introduces him to Phoebe and they expectantly wait for the reviewer to taste the dessert. He enjoys it a lot and Hannah is glad. She's happy that she was able to fix her mistake and again sees that she's not as hopeless as she thought. After the huge success of their dessert, Ben suggests they celebrate with a drink. Hannah goes with him and he shows off to her by carving her ice glass. Besides being a hotel owner and manager, he also loves craving ice, and he has a talent for sculptures. They toast their success, and Hannah admits that she's glad she is there, and not on the cruise. Ben is also glad that she decided to come, even though it wasn't her dream trip. Bridget sees the two of them sitting closely and smiling and gets jealous. She has a massive crush on Ben, but she thinks it's unprofessional to make a move on him. Now she has to watch him with Hannah and there's nothing she can do. They have chemistry. The next day, Hannah calls her boss to tell her how her experience is going, and her boss tells her that they are going to vote for the next manager. It's a bucket of ice water for Hannah. It reminds her that she's going to go back to a job she doesn't love doing. Staying there at the ice hotel and meeting Ben made her feel even more compelled to go back to hotel management. She's so excited about the prospect that she decides to give Robert, the reviewer, some suggestions for activities in the snow, like snowshoeing. The problem is that with the snowstorm during the night, some of the staff couldn't make it to work. Ben and Bridget have to cancel some activities and the one she suggested is on the list. Hannah nervously explains that she had suggested snowshoeing to the reviewer and that he looked excited. Bridget worries that canceling it is going to make them look bad, but Hannah has an idea. Phoebe is a fitness instructor, so Hannah thinks she may help the guests with the activity. Bridget isn't convinced it's a good idea to put so much on Hannah's shoulders, but she promises that she and Phoebe can do it. Ben agrees and tells Bridget that he's going to go along to make sure everything works out. After Hannah leaves, Ben explains to Bridget that Hannah is more than a travel agent, and that she wants to have the experience of managing a hotel. He wants to help her and spend time with her, though he doesn't mention that part to Bridget. Phoebe doesn't enjoy Hannah's idea, but Hannah explains that she wants to help the hotel to get a nice review. It's going to make her feel as if she redeemed herself for her last failure. Phoebe begrudgingly accepts leading the snowshoeing group, and Hannah's excited. During the snowshoeing, Hannah tries to point out the tourist sites on the track, and Ben helps her out. On their way, when they are tired, they find a nice cabin in the middle of the woods. A couple is living there and they invite the whole procession in. Turns out the couple makes glass sculptures and they had been guests at the hotel on their anniversary. They offer everyone tea and teach them to make sculptures with glass. It's a great experience and no one suspects it wasn't on the schedule. Thanks to Hannah's quick thinking and creativity, what was a simple activity turned into a special one. It's perfect. The reviewer is having lots of fun, and it makes Ben happy. When they have some time alone, he tells her it was a great idea and that she's really good at turning things around. He thinks she has what it takes to have her own hotel like she dreams of. Hannah thanks him and says that she's glad to be of help because staying at his hotel opened her mind. It made her realize that she had a passion and she let go of it because she was insecure and scared of failing. She confesses that she didn't want to come because she loves the beach and dislikes the cold, but it was a surprise for her that she was having so much fun. Meeting Ben was also a welcome surprise. While they are talking, they see a herd of elk and Hannah gets excited. She holds Ben's arm to show him, to his surprise, and then she continues holding it for a while. She's bashful when she notices that she's holding him and he smiles seeing her embarrassment. He says that if you see a white elk, it means that there's a good end coming to your story. They are interrupted by Robert. He happily shows them the sculpture he made, and it's obvious that he's having a blast. When they return to the hotel, Bridget asks how it was and Ben excitedly tells her how great it was. He compliments Hannah and her ideas that made all the difference. Seeing Ben so happy with Hannah makes Bridget jealous again. When the couple is together, they are in their own bubble of happiness, and it makes her sad to see. She interrupts them to ask for Ben's help again. He invites Hannah to their maple syrup party, and she excitedly says yes. They meet again before the party and Ben walks her to the bonfire where it's happening. The way is very romantic, with snowflake lights everywhere. Hannah is in love. Wherever she goes in the hotel, she has a pleasant surprise. It's so nice to see the effort Ben and Bridget go into to make sure everything is in place. It gives her even more inspiration to follow her dream. She compliments Ben for their work and how magical the place looks. He tells her that he loves walking in the woods and he wanted the guests to have the same liberating experience. When they arrive at the bonfire, Hannah points out that Bridget is also amazing at hotel management. It's her turn to be a little jealous when Ben compliments Bridget and says he had no idea what he was doing before hiring her. Hannah is more jealous of Bridget being so important at the hotel than her relationship with Ben. She's so confident in her job and she's successful. It's everything Hannah ever wanted for herself. Ben takes her out of her momentaneous funk by showing her how to tap syrup. Later on, as they are tasting the syrup, Hannah is so happy that she accidentally bumps into Robert, and the syrup lollipop she was eating sticks to his hat. For the first time ever, Robert is upset because it's his favorite hat. Hannah tries to help him out, but Bridget pointedly says that she's the manager and she can handle it. After making a mess of things again, Hannah's happiness and hope go down the drain. Phoebe comforts her and says it was an accident, but Hannah feels really bad. She feels like she owes Robert again for the accident. It makes her feel insecure about her abilities. Not feeling in the mood to party again, she goes back to the hotel alone. Ben had gone with Bridget to help Robert out. The following morning, Phoebe's boyfriend arrives at the hotel. After talking a lot, they decided to get back together again. It's beautiful to see her friend so happy again. But deep down, Hannah starts feeling alone. She wants to have a nice relationship, fall in love with someone and have her happy ending. She thinks about Ben and how she would like for that to happen with him. Thinking about him, she starts looking for Ben around the hotel and finds him carving a block of ice. She was a little nervous about his reaction after her blunder the night before, but Ben is happy to see her. Hannah asks about Robert, and Ben brushes her off, saying that he's completely fine. He shows her how to carve the ice and Hannah suggests that they make a seashell. Ben teaches her how to do it, and while she does it, she tells him the complete story about the flood at the hotel she managed. She explains that it was her first job after college and she was confident she could do it. Sadly, one honest mistake ruined her career. Ben feels bad for her because he knows what it is like to be afraid of failure. He tells her that despite the ups and downs, she has the talent to manage her own hotel. She shouldn't give up. Hannah is glad that he comforted her and gave her some peace of mind. It's good to hear from someone who has the experience that things work out in the end. When Hannah finishes the sculpture, Ben proudly puts it at the entrance of the hotel. Phoebe arrives with her boyfriend and decides to invite him to go out with them for dinner, like a double date. Ben agrees, and Hannah gets excited about the prospect of going on a date with him. Ben also invites Hannah to go sledding in the woods. It's very romantic and Hannah can barely stop smiling. They glance at each other all the time and bashfully look away. When they return to the hotel, Bridget calls Ben to give him some good news. She tells him his father called and that the ice hotel in Finland was approved. Ben's really happy. That means that the business is going to grow and he will have the opportunity to manage another hotel. Bridget asks if they can discuss things over dinner, but Ben denies it because he's going out with Hannah and her friends. While talking about Hannah to Bridget, he mentions that she's very talented but not confident in her abilities because of the accident she had. Before Ben leaves, Bridget tells him that she would gladly follow him anywhere. She's subtly talking about the hotel in Finland, but Ben has other plans in mind for that hotel. After Ben leaves, she quickly researches Hannah's accident and finds out it was so big that it was on the news. Hannah's picture even appears. It's ammo for Bridget to use against Hannah, play on her insecurities to make her back off from Ben. Dinner with Hannah is great. Ben mingles well with Phoebe and her boyfriend. When they go back, Ben isn't ready to call it a night and invites Hannah to a bonfire. She says it's going to be perfect because she's freezing. Ben quickly takes off his scarf and puts it around her neck to warm her. Hannah's heart almost runs out of her chest when he's so close to her. His gentlemanly act warms her more than the scarf ever could. Before they go to the bonfire, Ben meets a friend of his and is informed that it was possible to see the aurora borealis. Hannah is so enchanted by the northern lights that she gets a bit emotional. She remembers her grandmother and how she would always talk about it. She used to say that words couldn't describe them, and Hannah agrees. Ben is amazed by how expressive Hannah is, and how she can make everything seem better. She tells him that she is never going to forget her memories there. Ben replies that life gets so uneventful that even the northern lights aren't impressive anymore. Hannah has an idea to make people remember the hotel forever, and leaves Ben to make a call. The next day, Ben finds out what Hannah's idea was. She went back to the cabin in the woods and asked the couple to make a glass sculpture of the hotel. Her idea is that the hotel can give it to the guests as a souvenir after their stay, so they'll never forget their experience there. Ben thinks it's a great idea, another proof that Hannah is more than capable of managing a hotel. When they return, they meet with Phoebe at the hotel's restaurant. The reviewer starts playing a song on the piano and Ben invites Hannah to dance. She agrees. They dance closely, staring into each other's eyes as if they were old lovers. After the dance, there's another surprise. Phoebe's boyfriend proposes to her, and it's all that was missing from the trip. Seeing her best friend happy makes the trip perfect for Hannah. She knows that if she had gone on a cruise, the ending would have been very different. As she tells that to Ben, he not so subtly says that they could get married at the hotel and then Hannah would have to come back. Hannah replies that she would love to come back one day. The second big surprise of the night comes when Ben asks if Hannah wants to work with him in the new hotel in Finland. Hannah is shocked and doesn't know what to say. She always sees her flaws and mistakes, but Ben sees her potential. He thinks she would be a great addition to the hotel, with her presence and creativity. More than that, he likes her and he was going to confess his feelings for her. But Bridget interrupts again. She subtly tells Hannah to go to her room, and she complies. But not before saying a heartfelt goodbye to Ben, with the promise of giving a positive answer to him about his proposal. When Bridget brings some tea to Hannah, she passive-aggressively tells Hannah that she doesn't have what it takes to manage a hotel. The person managing an ice hotel needs to be gentle and careful, implying that Hannah isn't. Bridget knows exactly where to hit because all of Hannah's confidence deflates. She has no idea that Bridget likes Ben and is only afraid of being replaced by her. She thinks Bridget is giving her an unbiased opinion about her and found her lacking. Hannah is sad and a bit depressed. It's like the rug was pulled from under her feet. She was so hopeful and full of expectations about going back to hotel management. Ben made her believe she had what it took, but maybe he was only flattering her. Bridget was a sound person and she didn't believe in Hannah's abilities. It must mean that she isn't good enough. With a heavy heart, Hannah makes her decision. The following morning, she's cold and aloof towards Ben. She intended to leave without saying goodbye or giving him an answer, but he catches up to her. She finally tells Ben that she isn't going to accept his offer because she prefers the sun and sand to snow. Ben thought for sure she was going to say yes, so he was confused when she said no. Since she said she loved the hotel so many times, he thought it would have been a great opportunity for her to work with him. He doesn't understand what happened that made her change her mind like that. Hannah says goodbye to him and leaves him behind. Unbeknownst to them, Robert watches them looking sad and heartbroken. He feels that such a beautiful couple should end up together, so he starts making his own plan to unite them again. Back at home, Hannah meets her mother. Her mom instantly notices that there's something wrong with her. She tells her about Ben and how she loved the hotel, that she felt hopeful and she loved the place. Her mother tells her that she needs to be brave and go after what she wants. She needs to put her insecurities aside because they aren't helping her. That same day, the review comes out, and there are only good things about the ice hotel. It warms her heart that she did one thing right, and helped Ben get the review he deserved. The following day, she goes back to the agency and finds out she got the job as manager. While there, Robert appears to book another trip, and before he leaves, he gives Hannah the hotel glass sculpture. He tells him that she's the one who needs to remember her experience at the hotel and how good it was. Hannah declines the management position at the agency, and goes back to the hotel to talk to Ben. In the meantime, Bridget sees how sad Ben is now that Hannah is gone and regrets the way she talked to her. She tells Ben that she doesn't want to go to Finland and that the job would be better for Hannah. Unbeknownst to Ben, Hannah arrives at the hotel and hears what Bridget says. She tells Ben that she thought about everything and decided to go back. She wonders if Ben still wants to work with her, and he does. He's really happy that she's back and says that he should have gone after her when she left. He wants her, not only as a hotel manager, but as a lover. They finally kiss. Later on, Hannah thanks Ben for giving her a chance and seeing something in her that she didn't anymore. They kiss again in front of the hotel and begin their new journey together. Hannah is more than glad that she accepted to go to an ice resort instead of a cruise, because there, she found herself and got a boyfriend as a bonus.